Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Before we get started, I have a confession to make. The title of this video is Liberalism, a Mental Disorder, is slightly clickbait. That doesn't mean you should just click off and think that I gotcha for no reason. We are going to talk about this. What's clickbait about it is the term liberalism. And I will be the first one to admit that no, I do not think that all liberals have a mental disorder. No, I don't think that all liberals are bad either. I mean, I've got viewers on here that are openly liberals, and they're preppers. They say I'm a liberal prepper, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the question then is there a mental disorder of at least some people on this planet, and especially in this country, regardless of their political lines, that they kind of have a very twisted worldview? That, I would say, is probably the answer, yes. So I want to kind of get into that today. This is a conversation that my wife and I have been having, and to be honest with you, she's not in full agreement with me, or at least she thinks that I'm too harsh. Let's put it that way. She thinks that I'm being a little too harsh on the mental disorder side of things. But maybe I am, maybe I'm not. So we are going to try to figure that out today before we get started. For real, if you don't mind, go ahead and clicking the like and subscribe buttons so that you can, and the little bell icon off to the side once you subscribe. That way you can get notifications of videos that I post on here, which is almost every day. So to start this off, many of you may not know about this, especially you Texas folks. My wife is a Texas native, born there, and I've been there many times, and it's a great state, but I like my state here in Missouri. And we're not going to get into a big fight of that, but if you're in Texas, you need to listen to this quite clearly. You have a state representative there trying to take away your rights. That's right. I'll put some images up over here of what I'm talking about. Representative Teresa Meza of District 105, goes by the name of Terry, I guess. She's in Austin, or no, Irving. She's in Irving, Texas. Sorry, that's her capital address, obviously, as you can see. She has proposed House Bill 196. I have not found that it has a title yet. This basically will change the castle doctrine laws in the state of Texas. And for those of you that don't know, a castle doctrine, many states have them. It is basically your home is your castle, and that you have the right to defend yourself in your home against any outside forces that come in, period. You don't have to wait until the person has broken into your house and then is actually trying to harm you to use some level of defense against them. Just the fact that they have entered in your home is enough justification for you to use force against them. She wants to change that. And I'm not going to get into all the wording of the law because it seems to still be kind of evolving. But you can certainly go and look that up if you want to. What I want to show you is a interview that she did. And I'm going to put it up here, that some of the what she said, at least the part that I wanted to really point out. And I'm going to read this to you. So, hold on. I'm not saying that stealing is okay, Meza explained. All I'm saying is that it doesn't warrant a death penalty. Thieves only carry for self-protection and to provide the householder an incentive to cooperate. So just hold on. I know you're starting to short circuit already. I can smell the smoke coming through the camera. But hold on. They just want to get their loot and get away. When the resident tries to resist is when people get hurt. If only one side is armed, fewer people will be killed. There's more. Meza was quick to reassure that her bill would not totally prevent the homeowner from defending themselves. Under the new law, homeowners' obligation is to flee the home at the first sign of intrusion. If fleeing is not possible, the homeowner must cooperate with the intruder. But if violence breaks out, it is the homeowner's responsibility to make sure no one gets hurt. So it's your responsibility. If someone breaks into your home, has a gun, and starts attacking you, it's your responsibility to make sure that no one gets hurt, including the intruder. Because the best way to achieve this is to use minimum non-lethal force possible, because the intruder, here's the clincher, will be able to sue for any injuries they receive at the hands of the homeowner. I know. Just hold on. We're not done yet. Meza goes on to say, in most instances, the thief needs the money more than the homeowner does. Okay? The homeowner's insurance will reimburse him for the losses. I feel like I'm reading a script from like Saturday Night Live or an article from the, one of these satirical websites. On balance, the transfer, this is the boy, just wait. On balance, the transfer of property is likely to lead to a more equitable distribution of wealth. If my bill can make this transfer a peaceful one, so much the better. I should probably end the video right there. Oh, so is that a mental disorder? Before I did this video, I was sitting thinking of what I wanted to use to illustrate my point, that is there a mental disorder out there amongst a certain portion of the population? And to be honest with you, I could probably make volumes of videos, hours and hours long, showcasing all the different things that are going on in our world over the last 6 to 12 months that, in my non-professional opinion, constitutes some level of mental disorder. We could go on and on. I don't think that I need to, though. I think most of you kind of know where I'm talking about. It's to the point that we're not just trying to normalize, we're trying to force all this gender identity down someone's throat, where it doesn't matter what is logical, that anyone can choose what they want to be, and we're just supposed to accept it. It's even to the point that I was reading yesterday of how this transgender identity, whatever, multiple gender identity movement has really been attacking the radical feminists, which traditionally has been considered very hard left. And they've been attacking the radical feminists because radical feminists, a lot of them are starting to say, well, wait a minute. We fought for these rights all these years, and now if a guy wants to claim he's a woman, he just automatically gets it? Hold up a second. So there's some infighting there. And it's like I told someone the other day, I don't care what you do in your bedroom, but you've crossed the line when you're trying to force your beliefs, your radical, immoral craziness, and some of it is to the point of crazy. I was actually going to showcase an article on here, but I chose not to because it's quite vulgar. Not written to be vulgar, but it's trying to explain how that we should accept that community. And it was just, to me, over the top. That this, is being crammed down our throats. It's being taught to our children in school. It's being showcased at libraries. Pedophilia is being normalized. That's right. Why, that's just another identity. If you identify as someone that enjoys the company of a small child, why, that's okay too. I could go on and on. We have organizations that claim to be for a certain race when in fact they do nothing to help benefit a certain race or ethnicity of a people. And I think you all know who I'm talking about there. They spend millions and millions of dollars actually doing just the opposite of what they say. We have a news media that makes its money on lying and gaslighting and what many have referred to as newspeak, where left is right, up is down, right is wrong, good is bad, war is peace. To showcase that, let's talk about, and I have to be careful if you remember, YouTube is really censoring this subject. 4 years ago, the biggest thing in the news, and it lasted for at least a good 2 years, was the fact that many in the media, activists, and a certain portion of our political realm in this country believed that the person that had won the election in 2016 had done so fraudulently at the help of a foreign country. There was very little evidence. Most of it was he said, she said. But the media was wall to wall, 24/7, that subject. And they didn't really allow any other point of view too much to be involved in. And here we are 4 years later in a scenario that's almost reversed, where the other party now, there's, at least I feel, a little bit more evidence indicating that there was some funny business going on. And I'm asking you to look at this through as much as you can of a nonpartisan, non-biased eyes. Just look at it on the surface. And yet the media and the social media and the tech giants are shutting down really hard anyone that wants to have an opinion on this. And they're calling it free speech. This is what's crazy. The news media and these tech companies are saying that they're protecting free speech by doing this. Twitter says that. YouTube, Facebook, they're saying that they're protecting free speech by canceling you out, by deleting your comments, by banning you. That's right, they're protecting free speech by doing that. We're being told some of the most ridiculous things. I mean, just a common man, I think, would look at the things that are happening in the world around us and say, this doesn't make sense. Is this a liberal mental disorder? It may not be liberal, it may be globalist, and because I understand that in using the word liberalism, you're kind of falling into that left-right paradigm. And I've got a lot of libertarian viewers here that like to try to call me out on that because they think that I'm not libertarian. I get the whole left-right paradigm. But sometimes it's the only way to explain it to people is by using that. The truth is that it's not really liberalism. It's this evil globalist acceptance of everything, the abandonment of morality, the abandonment of any type of godly biblical principles, and the acceptance of anything that is vile, anything that is wrong, anything that just makes you feel good is okay. And that includes not telling the truth. So is there a mental disorder of that in this country? Yes, I do believe so. I believe that there's a mental disorder. I'm no doctor. I'm no professor. I'm no psychologist. I'm no expert in this field whatsoever. This is only my opinion, and it's only for entertainment purposes only. But I cannot see how any person can sit around and see what is going on and not for a moment question in their mind the sanity of this stuff that's being spewed out on us. I think that there's only two options. The things that they're saying, whether it's the news media or these activists or the social media companies or these people online that are trying to shut down conversation, that are trying to attack people because of their beliefs, they're either fall into one of two categories, and this is only my opinion. They either know absolutely what they're doing is wrong. They know in their hearts, in the back of their minds, that what they're saying is an outright, absolute lie, or that they know that it's outright, absolutely crazy to say that it's just absolutely insane. But they don't care because they're doing it to manipulate. And if that's not the case, then the only other option must be that there is some mental insanity going on inside their head. Because a rationally thinking person that has even just the most basic and normal cognitive thinking skills can look at most of the stuff that's going on around us today and say, this doesn't make sense. This is insane. So how do they get away with it? Is there's that many people in this world that are really crazy? Is that how they're getting away with it? No. They're getting away with it because they control the narrative. They control the means for that narrative to be released. They control, in a very large part, the ways that people can communicate. I mean, think about it. You know, there's this argument that's going around that, well, you know, companies like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, they're held down by the Constitution. That's only for the government. These are private companies and they can do what they want. In a way, the argument is correct. But the flip side is what other ways do we have that we can communicate with? I mean, how else can you and I communicate? How else can you and I get our message across when those companies and a few others like them have dominated our means of communication for so long now that there's very little other ways that we can communicate? There are alternative websites, but one could make a very good argument that the big tech companies are using their power to subdue the growth and the reach of these smaller companies. So in other words, they are monopolizing their market, which there are current lawsuits against them because of that. What other way do we have? It's difficult, and I don't have the answer to that. But what I am trying to get across is that I believe we live in a world where people are either outright open, ball-face lying to you and manipulating you, or they're just crazy. Because I cannot think of another reasonable explanation for the behaviors of the stuff that we're seeing go on around us. Now, of course, one might ask, well, if that's true, then how is it that so many people have lost their minds? That, my friends, is a subject for another video, because I'm sure we could all come up with many reasons to explain how such a large amount of people in our time have pretty much lost their minds. I expect to probably get a little hate mail because of this. It's quite possible this video will be deleted. Most likely, it will be demonetized. So if that's the case, I'm going to tag the end of this video with a small little commercial of a sponsor of the Prepared Homestead that I work with. And if you're interested in those products that will be mentioned here in the next few seconds, by all means, go ahead and stock up and increase your preparedness of your home. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Hey, Prepared Homesteaders, as you are stocking up on your rice, beans, canned food, dry foods that you certainly need to be stocking up on because of the Great Reset New World Order that is upon us, I want you to consider stocking up on a few other items that really diversify your food preps. This is some stuff from Ready Hour Food that is amazing freeze-dried food, really, really good quality stuff, tastes amazing. It comes in the Mylar bags and the tin cans. You can buy a whole bucket of it over on preparewithtravis.com. That's preparewithtravis.com. If you buy a 4-week supply bucket, you get $100 off. And man, you cannot go wrong with this stuff. It's not the only thing I would be prepping up, but it certainly is good to add it to your preps to give you all the different options, flavor options, not just beans and rice and some canned food. This stuff lasts 25 to 30 year shelf life, and it's real easy to cook it with just some hot boiling water, and you'll really enjoy the flavor. It's very high quality stuff, especially for what you pay for. But go over to preparewithtravis.com and pick you up some Ready Hour Food to prepare for what is coming.